Right, we're looking at Company of Heroes opposing fronts. This is a skirmish that I did. It's me as the Brits and the Germans as the enemy. Now this skirmish took me about an hour and a half, so I've cut it down to less than 15 minutes obviously. That narrow bridge and that river cut off the left hand strip of the map from the rest of the map, and I'm going to focus mostly on what happened in that narrow strip that you see on the kind of top left of the map if you look at the mini-map. Now at the moment we've got some Germans holed up in that building and two of our squads attacking it, and we've taken that strategic point there, but we're just having a bit of trouble getting rid of those guys. And there they go. So they've now been defeated, and we're off to take that munitions point, that fuel point. Right, now we've built a mortar bunker, and I'm going to use that to attack that building which is occupied by Germans. A couple of Germans run in there and try to attack us, but they don't fancy it much and withdraw. So still laying down machine gun fire on that building on the left. The important thing to realise about this strip of land is that no vehicles can reach it. You can only get across it by a narrow bridge at the top end, or another one at the bottom end, or by wading across the river in an area near the middle. Yeah, it's all infantry in this area. And one of the groups that's in that building has now been taken out, and the machine gunners in the small building don't seem to be able to reach it, so I'm bringing those out and standing them behind that fence, and they can now reach the other group that's in that house, and they're firing at it again. The mortar is still going at it, but I don't know how effective that's been. Now I'm bringing that other infantry group forward. The plan is to hide them behind that vehicle, but then we discover that the group inside the building has a flamethrower, so we withdraw to a discreet distance, and now a mortar has come in and taken out the last of those guys. There are more infantry running across the field, and there was an explosion there which I think must have been a booby trap on the... I'm not sure, but I think must have been a booby trap on that strategic point. You know, you can see I've now taken that point. It's actually a fuel point. And another flamethrower starts going there because some Germans have come across the river, and so I retreat my guys into that building, and the mortar's going still, and it frightens off that last German guy. And there, that's the place where you can wade across the river, which is about halfway down this strip of land. Okay, so I'm giving these guys an instruction. I'm telling them to come out of that house and move forward. Am I sending them to there? That's quite far forward down that left-hand side. There'll be quite a lot of action around that house. I've already moved some guys up here to there, and I was telling them to take that strategic point. More Germans running in towards that mortar emplacement. I think they were trying to sneak through. There's a victory point right at the back there, which I haven't noticed and haven't tried to take yet, though it's absolutely mine for the taking in terms of where it is territorially. Yeah, those guys that you can see running at the top of the screen, I have actually sent them to take it, I remember now, but rather late in the day. Okay, so on the building on the left that I mentioned earlier, that's now occupied by some Germans. The building top right, some of my guys are in there and shooting at them. Now the guys who I sent back there have taken that victory point, and I'm going to bring them forwards again. And I'm going to put them in that building in the hope that they can have some bearing on what's going on there. But if you notice the centre ground is still pretty much owned by the Germans. There's a victory point in the centre which is marked by a star in a red circle, and they have got that at the moment, and while they hold that area, they can still sneak their infantry across the river in that place where you can wade across, and sneak in behind where I am. Now they've got some blokes with a, well, you can see what's happened there. They had some blokes with a flamethrower in the building next to that larger house, and they took out my group of infantry quite easily with that flamethrower. So I haven't really got that area under my command yet. This is on the other side of the map, and that's one of my command vehicles which makes armour, and it's under attack and is almost dead, but then that Cromwell tank of mine comes round and asserts itself over the situation and just manages to rescue it. Now what's going on here? Oh yeah, they were launching an attack on my headquarters, but it didn't quite work out, so now this last guy is trying to flee, and he nearly gets away, but not quite. Okay, so now we're back on the left hand side of the map, and I don't know quite what was going on there. Oh yeah, on the left hand side of the map, just outside of our field of vision, there's one set of German guys who may or may not have a flamethrower, so I'm moving these blokes here up to near this fence, but out of the range of any flamethrower, so that they can attack. There we go, they start up their machine gun, and fairly quickly they're getting the better of those German engineers that are there. 1 and 2, they're both down, and then I'm instructing them to take that strategic point, which we had earlier but lost. You can see the Germans have still got the centre ground, and are still sending people across to cause trouble to me in this strip of land. Now I'm repairing that mortar emplacement, which seems to have been damaged, and 2 of those guys, or 3 of them, are going to be left behind in that mortar emplacement, but the other 2 who have got a Bren gun are going to carry on as a unit on their own, and I'm moving them forward now out of that building and telling them to come into that building there. You can see the Germans are still occupying that larger building, and I've still got some blokes in the one on the left, and as my 2 gunners run forwards rather painfully slowly, really they come under fire and I get away with murder there, because they just managed to get around and into that building, and as they're doing so we in fact take out one of the German engineers that's in the building. 2 more engineers running forward. I don't know quite what they're trying to achieve. I think you have to question the AI a bit sometimes, because none of these attacks have got any hope of achieving anything, and yet he keeps on coming forward with just 1 or 2 groups of engineers, and they keep getting taken out or frightened off. Right, this is in the centre ground, and I've now taken the centre ground. I'm holding it with some infantry and 2 tanks, and I'm bringing 1 set of infantry across the river in that central area, and I'm bringing them to join the 2 other groups that I've got here. can see some Germans went into that house briefly, didn't like it, came out again, and again go on a suicide mission up that road. And now they are gone. And there are those ones that I brought across the river. They're going to hole up in that house. Now I'm bringing those two gunners out of that house, and I'm going to instruct them to take that to that munitions point there. Those guys that a minute ago I was sending into that house are coming out again, and I'm telling them to take that fuel point that's just on the far left of the screen. More attempts to come down the road with inadequate forces, and they're getting frightened off again. Now here, this is near the enemy's base in the bottom right hand corner of the map. I sent that Cromwell tank forward to check that the base was in that area, and it was, and it survived the experience, and it's being chased away by those two who are going to wish they hadn't chased it away. There they go, and that was the centre of the map, and now we're back. You can see there's a bunker there, and they're going to call in an artillery bombardment onto that area because I've got a mobile artillery unit. And it's not shooting brilliantly until that shot, when it lands on the bunker pretty well. And in a minute now, it takes it out. Okay, now I finally decide to try and take this final victory point, by which time I'll have all four. And now I've taken it. You can see it at the top of the screen, and the blokes who took it are in that house on the right, and those two brain gunners are just coming into the road. They start firing on those, and they're off again in the centre of the screen, and now back towards the bottom right of the screen near the enemy base. I'm ordering another bombardment, and you can see the enemy is building an armour constructing type building, and up to this point the Germans haven't had a single vehicle on the entire map, and what they've been playing at, I can't imagine that bunker's just been taken out. Because I've been playing the game a bit casually. It shouldn't really have taken me an hour and a half to win this, and but they haven't really threatened to beat me. The closest they have to well, they have the anti-tank guns. They have a couple of those towards the end, as we'll see in a few minutes, or in a very few minutes. You can see there's a Cromwell tank there I've got that's firing, and in a minute we'll see I've lost that now, because they have in fact made a couple of anti-tank guns, and that's taken out the Cromwell tank there and a lighter tank, which is somewhere around there, and it's firing at that other light tank there, and it's about to take it out, but it doesn't matter because I am victorious, and that's the end. Okay, these are a few Xbox games that I've got for sale at my eBay shop. Later on today I'm going to be adding another entry to my PS3 gaming blog, and it's going to be about Human Revolution, so have a look at that. There's a link below. That's it. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.